Hello, hello. So we're back at the prisoner. I wanted to go through and, try a different thing. Like, there was a point where we could have examined the other chain, and I was tempted to, but I don't think I did. There was also potentially, like, trying to slay her instead of save her, because when you try to save her and help her out, well...
Her head twists slowly to the side, flopping to her shoulder.
She did the thing. So, I'm gonna try to approach it with taking the blade, but then examining the chains, and see if that can still put me down onto a slaying route into the basement.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Oh, and because we're taking the knife here, we might actually get different dialogue and a different type of vibe for this prisoner. Interesting.
I wonder what visitors she could be referring to. Were we not the first? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves.
She is so done with this.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
Let's sit with you.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, let's sit where we were told.
You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
I love the plop down animation.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me?
That other chain on the wall, who is it for?
I don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
Well, I don't plan to, so... Inspect the shackle.
I wouldn't do that if I were you. And why is that? Do I even need to explain myself? It's a shackle, and it's one without a key. Do you want to be stuck here like she is?
I feel like it would be pretty easy to examine a shackle without accidentally trapping yourself.
And what? Is it going to lock the second we put our wrist into it?
Why would you put your wrist in it? What?
I don't know. Maybe it will. He doesn't want us to look at it. That's all the reason we need to investigate. But what if he's telling the truth? He isn't. I am.
Inspect the shackle.
Against your better judgment, you approach the chain dangling from the far wall. The princess watches you with faux disinterest as you inspect it, though she can't fully hide her curiosity. I don't want to say what I'm supposed to say next.
Supposed to say, yeah. The structure of this all, it very much feels like, especially with last time we were in this predicament, the cage was talking to us as if she was also expecting a certain script to occur, and that we had broken out of that script. So there is predetermined possibilities all in an attempt to lead you down, that you can break out of it. I want to explore that more. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to get to that. But cage was the closest that we got, so I wanted to like kind of explore this territory again.
What is that supposed to mean? It sounds bad. Is it bad? Yes, it's bad. Come out and say it then. You're just wasting time. Fine. As you hoist the shackle, its heft shifts within your grasp, as if pulled by some odd magnetism. Before you can so much as blink, it practically leaps from your hands, snapping around your neck.
What? Wait. What? Why? Okay. Wait, so some aspects, particularly within the cabin it seems, just kind of act on their own. Maybe the door slamming and locking on its own and the knife going down the stairs, and this isn't even actually the narrator doing it on purpose. What? But it feels inconsistent because the door locking to keep you downstairs, the knife going down the stairs, that feels like, hey, you need to slay the princess. This feels like it doesn't align with that. And right now, it seems like the narrator is like, I don't have to say this. So it's not like he is saying, hey, I'm doing this to try and stop you. What? Why does it act on its own? how does it act on its own? Like, sure, we're going to construct anything can happen, whatever. But that introduces a whole new weird element to all of this.
And, as if your situation weren't bad enough, the same magnetism repels your blade, which is flung from your hand and sent skittering across the floor of the basement.
It repels the blade? Whoa. This is interesting.
Excuse me? Yes? Are we stuck here now?
Become
Yes.
your own jailer.
Huh, so it does fit. And I guess it doesn't like your knife. We're stuck here together, aren't we? That's funny.
I like how we both said huh at the same time.
What are we supposed to do now? Can't even cut ourselves out. Guess we'll starve.
Kicks back. Well, oh no, guess I get to spend time with this princess that I like.
That's horrible. It's not all bad. We learned a valuable piece of information. Not to touch things we're specifically told not to touch? No, that there's something special about this loose chain. It's clearly important.
Kind of. I don't think the chain itself is important. Well, wait, I'm trying to remember, is there always a loose chain? I've kind of just, if there is, I've just glossed over it at this point. So, we're both stuck here.
Yep.
What should we do?
Wait, I guess. Maybe something else will happen. Maybe not.
Did you know this was going to happen to me?
No.
I don't know if I believe that, because the Kedge seemed to understand what was meant and what was expected. Unless she was truly just developing her own awareness as the chapter is going on, like I've kind of talked about before, but I'm not exactly sure about that one. Not one for small talk, are you?
Nope.
That's rude.
Alright, I guess we're waiting in silence.
You and the princess wait in silence, though neither of you knows what you're waiting for. But you're waiting for something. You're waiting for anything. This is so boring. There must be something we can do to get out of here. There must be something we're missing. But there isn't. Time passes.
With the princess? Huh. It's happened with, like, the corpse before, but not with the living princess.
It passes and passes and passes. And the basement of the cabin remains much the same. It is cold and silent. At least the world is safe. It isn't. You're stuck. Too far away from both the princess and your blade to do much of anything. But she's not ending anything. She's just sitting there. Her very existence is a threat. It harms everything around it.
Well, technically, yeah. I don't know if that applies within the construct, though.
How exactly does that work?
Also, I guess it depends on what you mean by harm. Entropy doesn't necessarily equate harm. It just equates activity.
It just does. But your line of questioning is interrupted by the passage of even more time. And after that, even more time passes again.
It's interrupted by the passage of even more time. Brilliant.
And let me guess, the cabin remains the same. If time is passing, the cabin can't be the same. Even if the differences are small, they have to exist. That's just how things work.
Oh.
I suppose you're correct. Things are changing. The differences are small at first, a bit of weathering here, a bit of erosion there. But then they get larger and larger.
Yeah, I guess the skeptic put it in our mind and now it manifests. Because I know, what was it exactly? I was asking why the narrator would tell us, oh, we have a mortal body, and that our, hunger and stuff would come about, like why he would even do that. That I got some replies kind of suggesting that, like, hey, that the narrator probably just had a choice of, well, either agree with that and then have the effects take place, or disagree and then have us question the nature of our reality and thus potentially give the princess more power, which he absolutely doesn't want. So it's like, okay, yeah, I understand that. So that seems to also be happening here. If he were to say like, no, time just passes and nothing happens, that would cause us to be like, wait a second, and kind of potentially peek into the construct. Hey, have you noticed the basement changing?
I don't like small talk, remember?
Okay, you can talk without it being small talk. What do you want me to say? Do you want me to ask you like what your freaking worst fear is or something? I don't know. Deepest desires?
Still rude.
I guess we're continuing to wait in silence. Oh.
You continue to wait in silence, and the cabin continues to change. The decay comes faster now. You can see earth through holes in the stonework, can watch lichen spread along the seams of the walls.
But in doing so, even if the reality is being shaped to match the assumption that like things will change over time, it is not making either of us change over time. So, interesting choice by the narrator to go along with that.
That doesn't make sense. Has our entire concept of time changed? What happened to starving? We should have died by now if the rocks around us are starting to erode.
And here we go.
She hasn't starved. I guess she hasn't. Even more silent time passes as you watch roots push themselves through the increasingly porous walls of the basement. Dirt seeps inside, flowing across the stone floor like a liquid, covering the ground and threatening to swallow you both. Time continues to pass, and pass, and pass.
I can't even tell where the knife went.
Until suddenly, there are no walls. And then...
Oh, weird. So the cabin can just deteriorate around us? How? Because I assumed that the exterior of the cabin was, for the most part, inscrutable. So that has worn away. Is it the first time we've ever seen that happen? Huh.
And? I think he's gone.
Would you look at that? We made it out of the cabin, and nothing bad had to happen to either of us.
Well...
So this is the outside world. It's cold.
Okay, so I don't think that was necessarily cruel. I'm gonna do the first thing that I just haven't really even done yet, because I've already played this princess, and I didn't really get the outcome that I wanted. I want to save this. If there's no other seemingly outcome that I can get, I'll come back here and continue. But I wanted to try and slay her. I feel like there has to be a way to do that. So let's see. I'm going to sit closer.
Do you think this is a game? Do you think these chains take away my say in things?
What?
As you move towards the princess, she stands, her chains clinking as she wraps them around her fists.
Aw.
In an instant, they're around your neck, both of you dropping to the ground as she pulls them taut, bracing her body against yours as you struggle uselessly. The metal chains constrict around your windpipe as the princess heaves with a muscled intensity.
Drop the knife or you die.
What is she doing? We weren't trying to attack her. I can see where she might have gotten the wrong idea. She doesn't have much agency here. Would we have trusted her if the roles were reversed? I don't know. How about we think about the nuances of interpersonal relationships when we're not being strangled?
I like this princess.
How many times did I warn you she's not to be trusted? But while strangulation can be very distracting, she's not armed, and you have your pristine blade. End her before she ends you.
Let's slay the princess.
You steel your will and refuse to give in to the princess's demands, ignoring the stars dancing in your eyes and the screaming of your starved lungs. You strike. You fumble your first few attempts, only making surface-level scratches and gouges as your arm flails forward, barely able to obey you. but a single focused blow was all it took. Your blade pierces up through her ribs, slicing through flesh, striking her heart. The chains loosen. The darkness creeping in at the edges of your vision subsides.
Okay, I feel like I've subtly noticed this before, but the pristine blade is green. And like, have we come across other colors before? We've only had like really black, white, red. No, I don't remember. It's been so long since I've been playing. Oh, interesting.
None of this was ever very fair, was it? But I did kill you last time. I should have expected you might want some petty revenge. Unfortunately for you, that means you've dug your own grave. You can forget about me ever helping you again, even if it damns us both.
Oh. Uh-oh.
And just like that, the princess is slain and the world is saved. Whenever you're ready, you can proceed to your reward.
Okay.
I don't like this. It was too easy. It was not too easy. We almost died. That's right. This was an incredibly difficult task, and you performed it admirably.
Oh, right. Didn't we get, like, quote-unquote, the good ending last time we were here as, with the prisoner?
Let's just get out of here. I don't like looking at her body. Plus, he said there'd be a reward. I'd appreciate a reward right about now. You have the attention span of a fly. How are we supposed to unravel the mysteries of this place if you're so easily distracted by empty promises? It's better to have a short attention span in a situation like this. There's no use dwelling on the past, especially when it's already set in stone. And especially when your promised reward is not, in fact, empty and is worth all the adversity you've been through to get here. Fine. But if we're leaving, then we're taking the blade. I feel exposed without it. With your work done, you remove the blade from the princess's corpse and make your way back upstairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. You can think of it as sealing yourself off from an unpleasant chapter of your life. It's all uphill from here.
Yeah, this might just be what I experienced last time with the prisoner. And slay myself. Will this be different? Well, okay, we got the cage last time. Let's see if this is the cage again, okay?
You collapse to the floor, everything goes dark, and you die. You're a genocidal maniac, you know that, right? Yeah, we'll see about that.
The gray. It's not the cage. Okay.
You're on a path in the woods.
See, that wasn't so bad. And now we've got another chance to get to the bottom of things. Bit by bit, we're starting to unravel this place.
Hello?
There are so many more threads to pull once you stop feeling. That's a little dark, buddy. You feeling okay?
Do you think so?
I'm feeling nothing. And I like that just fine. So you've been here before. Of course you've been here before. What count is it this time? 2?
Well, this is the third time we're here.
It's our third. What gave it away?
Your open discussions.
You came around on that awful fast. Have you just been pretending to forget every time?
I'm afraid not. Whatever other versions of me you've met in those other lifetimes were just that. Other versions of me. I just wish I'd been the first.
So you knew how all this worked. Why didn't you ever tell us? We could have used it to our advantage.
That's because there is no using it to your advantage. The more information you have, the harder it will be for you to succeed.
Has it always been cloudy? No, because you can usually see the stars. And it's raining. This is a very different environment. Like, yeah, I understand usually chapter 3's the environment is like quite different. But, wow.
It's not like it was that difficult to slay her last time. She may have put up a fight, but her flesh is still softer than our blade. And now she's dead, and I doubt she'll be able to do much of anything from the grave.
You already slew her, and you survived.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then why, pray tell, are you here? Oh, I know that one. We killed ourselves. Why?
Because you thought trying to stuff us away in a corner for eternity was a suitable reward.
Yeah. See, we're not like you, narrator, or the original you. We don't believe that eternity without change, unending, is a worthwhile life. You know? There has to be some, like, reason, some interest, some drive to want to do. You can't just become stagnant and be appeased. Well, most people can't.
Was it not? What better reward is there than eternal bliss? You should have been happy.
That's your false assumption. That is your strange obsession with this idea.
We were bored. There were still answers that we needed to find.
Curiosity, I think that is the core element. Curiosity for the new, for the different, or change.
It was actually working. And you killed yourself. I can't believe it. You ruined everything.
You set a flawed plan into motion. Don't blame us. Anything else would probably have done that as well, unless they are as crazed with the idea as you are.
How does us dying ruin everything? What aren't you telling us? The world doesn't stay saved if you die.
Saved, quote unquote. Yeah, okay.
And if the world isn't saved, then that means she isn't dead.
It's raining. It wasn't raining last time, or the time before that. The whole path is different.
Yes, things are different, aren't they? If this isn't the same path in the woods you're used to, that means that her influence is already spreading and you're running out of time. Her influence? What's that supposed to mean? It means exactly what I said. Don't overthink it, or you run the risk of making your task so much more difficult than it has to be.
Do I fully understand what that is all about? The fact that she has, like, influence over it as she has more time to exist and we have more time? Because, like, I guess we're not simply the bodies that this construct resides us to, the physical vessels, whatever. I imagine, I guess, we do kind of comprise a lot of this construct ourselves, because, like, I am the lone quiet. Quiet is the weird void and stuff enwrapping everything. And so I guess the princess might also constitute part of the quote-unquote world that this construct is made from. And so as our perception becomes more and more drastically different from simply what the narrator describes it to us based off of whatever the base reality is, then I guess the surroundings start to change more. I guess I do have a decent understanding. I guess I just haven't, like, properly thought through it step by step yet.
And what is that supposed to mean? Forget I said anything. I've probably already made things worse, and I need to stop talking about this now before I definitely make things worse. Oh, come on, tell us your secrets. Haven't we been through enough? Don't we deserve to know? No. Is there a reason it would be raining? If there is, it doesn't matter. If a bit of rain is the best her influence can conjure, then we have nothing to worry about. A drenched corpse is still a corpse.
Okay, so the flesh is still softer than the knife or whatever, the blade, and they're calling it, like, a drenched corpse because, yeah, she was dead. It seems like when we have successfully killed her, but then things go awry and not just immediately sending us to the next thing. The nightmare turned into the wraith when that happened with us. Is there another pseudo-dead? I mean, like, the prisoner was some weird walking detached head when it became the cage. So, like, kind of, So what would this one be? Because she was a prisoner similar to the cage. She didn't detach her head. We just killed her. But right now, it's talking about a corpse. And it's talking about, like, well, then apparently she isn't dead. And it's the gray. So it also feels like a weird limbo state. I feel like we've kind of had that with maybe the dragon, something like that. 'Cause, yeah, especially with the rain, it's very sullen. Because, I mean, from her perspective, she's just entrapped and imprisoned and betrayed over and over again, very much stuck in an eternity. So I wonder if this is going to be like some kind of weird corpse. Yes, like some kind of weird ghost. Because I mean, the Wraith was kind of like a weird ghost. I don't know how similar some of these princesses are. What happens if we don't go to the cabin?
She'll find a way out eventually and the world will still end. The only way this resolves is if you find her and slay her before that happens. We already know he wants us to slay her. Anything he says is tainted by his motivations. Turn around and leave, go to the cabin. I'm fine with either. So long as we don't just do the same thing again. That would be boring.
Whatever happens next, it seems like all our answers are in the cabin. Might as well see this through.
I'm sure you've already heard my words of warning in one of your past lives. You've already managed to slay her once, just don't muck it up this time, alright? What we do is entirely up to us.
Also, what do you expect us to do? Not muck it up. Obviously, we're not content with eternity of unchanging reality, of just solitude, other than with our own voices. So, present us with a different alternative, huh? If that one didn't work.
And we have all those mysteries to unravel. Isn't that right? You aren't here to solve a mystery. You're here to save the world.
That's the thing, we have too much curiosity.
That's what you say. But how can we be sure? We can't be sure of anything except what's right in front of us. Okay, but we should care about the fate of the world.
Eh?
Why? Because we should. I don't know. It's important.
That's...
Is it? Yes! I think.
Depends on the world.
For all we know, the world you're talking about isn't even real.
Narrator doesn't like that.
Of course it's real.
Yeah.
Where do you think you are? Somewhere else?
Well...
Maybe we are.
Yeah, though to be fair, there is merit in saying, like, why would somewhere else not constitute as real if it's what you're experiencing? But where?
This is horribly unproductive. The cabin and your extremely important destiny await.
Alright.
As soon as you enter the cabin, you're struck by an overwhelming scent of decay, of mould and death and stagnant water. The once stately wooden building is bloated, its beams dripping with a black ooze of putrefaction, all but the exterior stone walls warped beyond recognition. It must have been beautiful once, but in its ruin, it is beyond repulsive.
Okay, yeah, like they said, like drenched corpse ghost, because I mean, I assume that's her right there? Interesting that she's not even in the basement?
But you're not alone. You can feel something watching you. There is a figure faintly outlined against the rotting wood of the wall.
Is she gonna haunt us?
Is that her? It's like she isn't even there. See? We killed her. You're right. Maybe she doesn't reset like us. She certainly doesn't look the same as she did last time. Before you can make a move, the figure is gone, vanishing behind the door on the far side of the room.
Oh boy.
The door at the end of the room, but there isn't a door. There's a mirror, that's it. The mirror? Is this some kind of joke? Did you all plan this out before dying? There is no mirror. There's the door to the basement, the table, and the pristine blade. Huh. That's strange. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade?
Do we still have it? I don't remember if we take it with us, if we use it when we die.
Maybe it's gone because we've already killed her with it. But we had it with us when we died. And besides, everything else has reset. Why wouldn't the blade have reset too?
I don't remember.
Maybe it's because we've already explored that avenue. We've seen what happens when we slay her. Maybe this place has decided we don't need to try that again. I suppose it doesn't matter why the blade is gone, but you're going to have to find it if you're going to do this right. So why don't you march over to that door and make your way down to the basement?
But there is no door.
Maybe the mirror isn't real. Maybe it is real, and he's lying through his teeth to stop us from looking into it. But it seems like whatever we want to do, our next step is on the other side of the room. You're clearly hallucinating, but I'd rather not get into it with you right now. The door to the basement is on the far side of the room, whether you can see it or not.
All right.
You make your way to the door at the end of the room, stopping just in front of it. You must think you're looking at that mirror you mentioned earlier, the one that doesn't exist. Just reach forward and open the door. It's so hazy. We should try and clean it off. You reach forward and place your hand on the door to the basement. The handle is just a little to your right, and a little down.
You know what? I haven't considered it in a while, if at all. The fact that the mirror is always like dusty, hazy, dirty looking, whatever, and we have the urge to try and clean it, to try and get a better view of what we are and such. And I feel like that does fit with that it is like a representation of our, understanding of reality, understanding of the construct, understanding of our situation. Because it is hazy. We don't understand exactly, at least as we continue to get it reset. And so it becomes more present that there is something wrong. We just don't know what, and we want to clean it, but we're not being allowed to. We're not being given the information to be able to interact with it until we see ourselves. We return to the long quiet.
Yeah, we can see it now. So much for our reflection. We didn't need to see ourselves anyway. I'm much more interested in seeing other things.
I am too.
No way left to go but down. The door to the basement groans open. The air is foul and wet, so thick that you can almost feel it settle onto your skin in layers of grime. The stairs are coated with slimy algae, the wood rotted through in places, reeking of fetid vegetation.
I hate how it looks like fleshy.
A wispy figure watches you from the bottom of the stairs, face veiled in shadows, legs submerged up to her shins in dark waters. There she is again. Barely. She's just an old memory. Your eyes lock for a brief moment, then she vanishes around the corner.
Is anyone there?
You receive no response. Do you think she's upset with us? I don't like being here unarmed after what happened last time. I feel so exposed. She doesn't seem fully there. I'm not sure she's even capable of being upset. You aren't helping.
How am I going to be cruel? I feel like I'm not being given lots of choices here.
Are you scared of a little ghost? What's she going to do? Look at us until we feel bad? She can look all she wants. It won't do anything.
Yeah?
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A bloated body floating face down in slowly rising waters. Her wrist still bound to the wall by a heavy chain.
So it is both. Okay. Because I was wondering if it's going to be like a bloated corpse of some sort, but it's both. It is both a bloated corpse and the lingering limbo ghost.
This cell is a dark and isolated place, with not so much as a window to allow starlight to penetrate the gloom. See? She's dead. She's not just dead. It looks like she's been rotting. So killing her does stick. Mostly. She isn't dead. You clearly just believe she is.
So our vessel has the capability to see in the dark? Okay, cool.
Her corpse is floating right in front of us. You can stop it with the mind games.
Has that been consistent? Because I feel like with things like the den, the cage, we have been in dark locations and we can't see. Yeah, the beast. Like, the beast can see us, but we can't see her. So I feel like it is kind of just malleable, what we're able to perceive. And not like, oh, the writing is, bad or whatever. I just mean that is part of the existence here, is that what we feel like we are able to see is just kind of up to whatever the construct presents to us. So, interesting. Okay.
If she's dead, then do we even have to do anything? How can she be a threat to the world like this? Your thoughts are cut short by the sound of a slamming door and a clicking lock.
Also, how would we kill her here? I mean, we don't have to. It could just be, no matter what, we're going to be taking her to the Long Quiet because it's chapter 3, and usually that indicates that, but yeah.
You turn to see the shade of the princess staring down at you from the top of the stairs. So that's where the blade is.
Oh.
It's already in her heart. And yet she isn't dead. She is dead. Have you never heard of a ghost before? Oh, for the love of... Can we not waste time arguing over the semantics of what is and isn't dead? She is clearly conscious. She clearly just slammed the door on you, and she clearly has a weapon. Your pristine blade sticking out of her chest. This is extremely bad. Catastrophic, even.
I like the little pinpricks of light in the eyes.
Yeah, dead or not, what are we supposed to do about her? Slaying, or destroying, if we want to be a little more death neutral, seems off the table. Yeah, this is tricky. But let's talk to her. See what kind of information she has that we don't.
I appreciate you being death neutral, hero.
But she hasn't said anything. Are you sure she can talk like this?
Bold of you to come back here after what you did.
Oh? Hey, why did you close the door?
But she doesn't answer your question. All she does is watch you in shadowed silence. Do you hear that trickling sound? The water's rising, isn't it?
Oh, I don't like that.
It is, and it's rising fast.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's interesting. We've never drowned before. I wonder how it'll feel. Bad, I bet. I don't think dying ever feels good.
Well...
Yes, how astute. Dying is bad and you should avoid it. How about you stop trying to talk to her and do something instead?
Let me out. Are you trying to kill me?
No, you're killing yourself.
Hmm?
The water is rising faster now. It's flowing in from some unseen place, and judging by the height of the algae on the stairs, it has no intention of stopping anytime soon.
Oh.
You feel it creeping up your back, so cold that it steals the very warmth from your flesh, leaving a smothering numbness in its place.
Alright, at least go up the stairs.
Are you really just going to stand there and let yourself die? Yeah, let's think. Where is it coming from? It's coming from some unseen place.
Well, okay, narrator, what do you expect us to do?
Does it really matter where it's coming from? Because I can feel it rising. I don't think we have much time to sleuth. Yes, it matters. Maybe we can find a way out. Maybe we can figure out a way to make this work. This is just a puzzle. We can solve it. Some things aren't puzzles to be solved. Sometimes you're doomed from the start. Most people are. Yes, most people are doomed. But in case you need reminding, everyone will be doomed forever unless you stop her.
Okay, if we just keep asking questions, I feel like we're getting pretty close to it overwhelming us. I don't know if we could ask like maybe one more? I'm kind of scared. No, because we're just about like one stair away. Like maybe we would be eyes just above the water, but I don't want to risk it. Rush to the door, rush for the blade. What is cruel? I think her just letting us die wouldn't be the cruelest. Maybe leaving her to this existence would be the cruelest? Because if we tried to kill her, she's already expecting that. Yeah, so rush to the door.
The princess eyes you with a disaffected gaze as you rush up the stairs, but you don't make it past the first few steps. The door bursts open, a powerful wave of water crashing down towards you. You're swept up in the flood. Your head slams into the basement wall. You come to a moment later, suspended in darkness, disorientated, only aware of the surface of the water and the emptiness above. And of course, the princess, hovering above you, watching in silence as you struggle to stay afloat in the icy depths. There's no way out. It's so dark and cold, I think our limbs are slowing down. How much longer can we do this?
Just keep breathing, we'll figure this out.
Or we won't. It doesn't matter either way. But you don't have time to figure anything out. Something cold and clammy wraps around your ankle. You're dragged under, only able to take one last hopeful gulp of air before your head is plunged into the freezing depths. As you sink below the surface, you see it. Or rather, you see her. The body you found floating when you first arrived, its hand is locked around your ankle, the heavy chains pulling you both down into the unfeeling, suffocating nothingness.
Oh, jeez.
I get it. We shouldn't have killed her. Just get it away from us, please. The past is the past. There's no changing it. There's nothing to fix.
And there's not a lot we can do about the present either. Not unless we think, like we should have been doing all along.
I hate the, eyes just, and the hair receding back because the skin is all extending out and the tongue just completely, Oh, yeah, this isn't a good one. Jeez.
But there is no thinking as you drown. You desperately try to pull yourself back to the surface again, and again, and again. Your icy limbs flailing desperately against the grip of her rotting corpse. And all the while her ghastly figure stares down at you, expressionless, as unfeeling as the weight around your ankle.
I do like the ghost. She has a fun design with a transparent dress and stuff, like no legs or anything.
Your lungs fill with water, the same way mine filled with blood. In the end, we're not so different.
Ooh. But your lungs don't fill, nor will they ever. It's time for you to leave. Memory returns. Of course you're scared.
I would have kept them in the dark if I were you.
You've unraveled.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet.
Do you have thoughts on this vessel?
This one is guarded sorrow. She saw herself as alone, but in the end had the courage to share with another. She will make for a deep heart.
What? This one is a guarded sorrow. She saw herself alone, but in the end had the courage to share with another. That is such an interesting description of what happened. Just in case, I want to save this, go back and let the water rise instead of me attempting to go toward the door, and see if that'll lead to anything different. I'm going to drown.
If this is how you're choosing to spend your last breaths, I won't stop you. But it won't make any difference.
I'm hoping it will. Also, yeah, I guess we do have at least that one more.
The water is up to your chin. You lose your footing, bobbing helplessly in the putrid flood pool.
Ew. Gross description. Oh.
Suddenly, the door to the basement is thrown from its hinges as one last massive wave of water comes crashing down, sweeping you up in a powerful current. You're bashed against the stone wall.
Huh.
You come to a moment later, suspended.
Yeah, okay, there's nothing else.
Do not mourn her. She has finally been heard.
She has finally been heard. Whoa. Okay. I feel like these last two I haven't quite gotten. Like, the beast in the den, I felt like I was missing something. Here, it feels like I'm missing something. I don't know if it's just because my experience is now a bit emptier because I understand I assume most of the depths of the plot, and so all of their strange dialogue and theory crafting, like, I can kind of gloss over those. I think there's one more princess and then it'll be exploring a new ending segment. So, oh well, interesting. I just hope I'm collecting red texts, because I have no, unless I were to like spoil myself, I have no way to verify that. You know what, while I have a save state, I want something interesting. I want to see what happens if I attack the entity. Your will cuts across the entity in front of you, but nothing happens.
My roots burrow in an ocean beyond your sight. We cannot harm each other as we are now.
Oh, interesting. Huh. I guess like where the arms are extending from, if this is, you know, as I mentioned before, like a kind of 4-dimensional situation going on. What about destroy my body? You raise your will to end your life, but as it buries into the space your body should be, you feel nothing at all. Oh. One of the many hands in front of you reaches forward and gently plucks the instrument from your hands.
There's nowhere for you to be but here.
True, yeah. While our mind has grasped this concept, I guess because we have been shown the mirror, that's the biggest thing, like properly ourself, aka the long quiet, not just the vessel we're being presented, but the long quiet behind us. We better understand this and can't forget it unless she wills it upon us. So, okay. Interesting. So I could have done that this entire time, I assume. I guess it doesn't really affect things. Oh well, I'm ready to go back.
The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are.
New ending.
I will be here, waiting for you.
Hopefully new. I hope there's multiple. It seemed like there were a couple different paths to choose. Everything goes dark, and you die. Okay. I don't know if it'll be the last part for this run next time. I might have to split it up into 2 because these last 2 have been kind of short, but I don't know what the next princess, how long that one's going to be. But I'll see y'all there. Bye.